You should never open up anything in a relationship that you be afraid that you can't stop or close. When you open up, women, on the other hand, have the option to get laid a lot easier than men. If a woman in the grocery store walks over to a man and says, "Hey, I've always said about parents, the kid could take a shit on the floor," and one parent will say, "Wow, a Picasso."
Someone at work stole my chair, so I had them arrested. I just started a new sales job. Day 3, I brought in my own Herman Miller Aeron chair because the office chairs were terrible. Day 4, it was gone. Another sales rep was sitting in it. I asked for it back and he told me to get lost. I went to the owner. He told me chairs are first come, first serve. I explained I own the chair and paid $1,800 for it. He told me to come in earlier. Next day, same guy is in my chair again. I told him give it back or I'm calling the cops. He refused, so I called the cops. I came prepared. Receipt with the serial number. Yes, Aeron chairs have serial numbers. He admitted he took it. The cops asked if I wanted to press charges. My new boss said I'd be fired if I had him arrested. I said, absolutely, press charges. Got fired on the spot. Carried my chair out with me on the way out. The guy has 15 years in the industry. Because he admitted to theft, he's going to lose his security license, which means he's done in this field entirely. I don't feel bad. He shouldn't have stolen my chair. Am I the asshole?
Wow, this is a close one. Look, the guy's an asshole for not returning your $1,800 chair. You bought a chair for $1,800 because you wanted to be comfortable, and he took it. So he's the asshole for keeping the chair. Whatever consequences he got, you lost your job, so that's not a good thing. So the asshole is the person who took the chair. He should have returned it. In an office that I work at, there's a woman who has a bad back, and her chair is essential for her because she has a bad back. And somebody took her chair to use it in his office, and she couldn't work that day and had to go home and work out of her home. So some people buy chairs because they have situations where they're not comfortable. So as far as I'm concerned, if you buy a chair and you spend $1,800 on a chair, you obviously need a comfortable chair. You wouldn't do that if you were comfortable. And the person who took the chair is at fault. He's going to lose his job. You lost your job. It's a big disaster. The fucking idiot should have just returned the chair. I don't understand it at all. And I don't get it. People are nuts. He knew it was your chair. The person who took the chair is at fault. You both lost your job because of a stupid fucking chair. Why don't you put a fucking leash on the chair or a chain? Why don't you chain the chair up to your desk? Why don't you put a fucking booby trap on the chair or something? Like one of those package thieves where it explodes in their face. I love it when people steal packages and it explodes in their face, and then they call the cops and blame the person who's had the package explode in their face, and they want to sue them.
Am I the asshole for insisting it shouldn't be my job to take care of my mom? My parents split when I was 4. My dad stuck around inconsistently for a couple of years before moving away to start a new family. After that, it was me, my mom, and whatever guy she was seeing at the time. None of them were good guys. Some beat her. Most beat me. Some stole from us, did drugs, got arrested at our house in the middle of the night. Every time a relationship fell apart, she fell apart too, and relied on me more to be the adult. Her family always expected me to be grateful she stayed, even when she wasn't taking care of me. Anytime I went to them for help, I was turned away and told I had nothing to complain about. There were times she wouldn't leave her bed for weeks after a breakup, and I had to spoon feed her. There were times I got beaten by one of her boyfriends and still had to make sure she was okay. She took some of those guys back after they hit me. After they hit her, too. About a year ago, I got serious about my plans to leave. I started working, saving, researching. Because I was at work and school more, I wasn't around to take care of her, and her family got involved. They gave me hell for it. I told them she's a full-grown adult, and I'm the kid. She should be taking care of me. They said I was being harder on her than my dad, who actually abandoned me. I told them I hope he's miserable and I want nothing to do with him. But that doesn't mean I'm going to thank her for a crappy childhood either. The parent who stays isn't always the better one. Sometimes they both just suck in different ways. My grandparents told me I should have been left homeless, since helping my mom was such a burden to me. Am I the asshole?
My mother was very, very strict. She never brought any men home or never dated a lot. No kid wants to see their mom with a lot of different men dating, people who beat you up or fight with the children. So the whole thing is a disaster for the kid. The kid needs to escape and get away from her because the mom basically didn't put enough emphasis on the kid and sacrificing for the kid. She wanted her own personal happiness, which she tried to achieve with dating, and she tried to find as a codependent mother with another man, which she never had. So the kid is not wrong. The relatives are wrong. They're all fucked up. They created this mother. The grandparents created the mom. They must be fucked up. So if I were you, young man or woman, whoever you are, I would go on my own, take care of myself. Your mom obviously has enough money to pay for the bills because she's taking care of you all her life. And leave her and develop your own life. You have to live for yourself at this moment. Your mom's actions were not the greatest. From 1 to 10, 10 being great, I would say she's a 3. Giving her the benefit of the doubt, 2 could be her score. So go on your own, enjoy your life, make something of yourself, and don't let the past stop you from being a success in the future. I would leave and go on my own and make my own money and develop my own life, my own friends. Still call my mom and still be friendly with her, but you can never forget the scars that relationships, her boyfriends, things that she's done has done to you. So
My boyfriend opened our relationship, got no dates, and is now mad at me for how things turned out. Am I the asshole? We're both 37 and have been together just over 3 years. Healthy relationship overall. About 6 months ago, he brought up opening things up, meaning going on dates and sleeping with other people. He said I could do the same. One rule: we don't discuss what we're doing or who we're seeing. I signed up to a dating app. Within a few days, I had 500 plus likes. I've been going on 1 or 2 dates a month and sleeping with some people in similar open relationship dynamics. Honestly, I was skeptical at first, but I've been enjoying it. The other day at his place, my phone was on the counter. He went through it, read everything, dating app included. He was furious. Turns out he opened the relationship specifically to pursue a younger colleague at work who misread his idea of a date as just a work lunch. He admitted he wanted to see if he would work with her so he could eventually leave me for her. She wasn't interested. And apparently, nobody else was either. 6 months and nothing. He demanded we close the relationship immediately. I told him maybe we should just end things or take a break. He called me names. He was the one who wanted this. I left and walked home, seriously considering ending it entirely. He's been blowing up my phone ever since. Am I the asshole?
how many of you are familiar with the fable or the tale of Pandora's box? If you're not familiar with it, I'll explain to you what it is because some people might not know. Pandora's box was a box that was supposed to be closed and never opened. And once it was opened, what came out was something evil and it could not be placed back into the box. So the idea of Pandora's box is you should never open up anything in a relationship that you will be afraid that you can't stop or close. When you open up this box of trouble, which is letting your girlfriend and you sleep around, and you trying to find another girlfriend to sleep with, it'll never be the same because now she thinks she's eligible with a lot of men. She'll maybe get dumped or fucked over or eventually not go anywhere with these men, but right now she's having a good time. And remember, you opened the door, you let this trouble in, you can't close it now, it's your fault. It's not her fault. Unfortunately for you, you've lost in this gamble. And all I can say is good luck and find a prostitute. If I was him, I'd at least try to find someone who's available, whether it's in America, Mexico, Thailand, somewhere. Find someone who will accept money for you because no one wants to date you. You're obviously some loser. Not really, but it's really hard to date in America. So all I'll say is go to them. I don't think you're going to do any better than that. You're 37 years old. No one wants to date you. She's banging around and she's not going to stop. Once the legs are open and she's not closing them. Sorry, you lose. Strike three. You're out. Get out of here. One of my friends told me, you're only as strong as your bench. Women, on the other hand, have the option to get laid a lot easier than men. If a woman in the grocery store walks over to a man and says, hey, let's go home to my house and fuck, and I'll give you a blowjob right now, 80% of the men will take him up on it if they're not married and she's kind of attractive. Now, if a man tries that, he'll be in the post office with his picture, wanted sex crimes. So there's a big difference, okay? You can't say that we're the same in all areas. There is one disadvantage for women, and I'll tell you what it is. Once a woman becomes 40 or 45, I'm not saying this is going to be well received by these women who are this age, your marketability goes down and fast. When a man is 45, our marketability stays the same. And 45, 50-year-old man can still get a 25, 30, 35-year-old gold digger. Of course, she's not going to necessarily love you for you, but it's a little bit harder for a 50-year-old woman to date a young man unless you share or somebody of that ilk who can attract someone young because they want to be famous for.
Am I the asshole for asking my adoptive parents if they have a college fund for me, like they do for my sister? I'm 17 and was adopted as an infant. My adoptive parents tried for years to have biological kids before they chose adoption. My adoptive mom held my birth mom's hand when I was born. 3 years later, my adoptive mom got pregnant with my sister, now 14. I always felt like she was their real child and I was something else. She got the nicknames, the spoiling, the quality time, the obsessive pride over how much she looked like them. I got less of everything. When I told my parents I felt left out, they never acknowledged it or changed anything. A year ago, I overheard them talking to my aunt about a huge college fund they'd built for my sister. Nobody had ever mentioned one for me. When school started asking about financial aid, I didn't know what to say. A few months ago, I reached out to my birth parents using the info my adoptive parents gave me. They didn't want a relationship. My adoptive parents didn't comfort me. My sister told me I had 4 parents who didn't want me, so I must be broken. 2 weeks ago, my parents asked me to tell my guidance counselor to handle all college conversations with me directly instead of contacting them. I asked them point blank if they had a college fund for me like they did for my sister. They got mad at me for asking, said it was none of my business, never gave me an answer. Not saying anything is basically an answer. Am I the asshole for asking?
Parents have the right to favor children. Unfortunately, whether you're adopted or not adopted, you could be not the favorite of the parents. That's just the way it goes, you know. Some parents favor some children. My father favored me, my mother favored my brother. So this is a difference in relationships between parents. Now, I don't know you and I don't know the parents, but they seem to have a better relationship with the daughter and maybe they feel closer with her. Maybe they're more connected with her. Maybe it's because of the genetics. Maybe it's not. I don't know. But you can go to college without having a college fund. My parents were poor. I went to City University. I worked. I stayed at home and I went to school at night. You can do it. So why is it so important that you focus on the things you don't have? Yes, they're favoring the daughter. Yes, they are. But your real parents didn't want you. These parents at least are giving you a home, an education, and a place to live. So I'm not saying this to be rude or to be mean to you because I understand you've gone through a lot. But be happy that someone really takes care of you, spends time with you, and don't worry about what your sister gets or what you get. It's never going to be the same. No parents are going to give the same thing to each child. It's just not happening. And I feel bad because you're adopted and you feel hurt. I do. I feel bad for you. And maybe you need to go to a therapist and hash this out. But make it on your own anyway. Big deal. College is not a party. It's for an education. There are plenty of city universities that you can go to. Go to a city university, get your degree, become successful. The best revenge for people who don't care for you or don't treat you right is educate yourself, become successful, and then you could wave goodbye to them. I'm sorry this happened to you. I feel bad. So the asshole really is the parents are more the asshole than anyone, but your relationship with them could be bad. You may not be great with them and they may not love you as much, and that's just reality. And I know that you think that everybody's supposed to love everybody the same, but as an animal owner and someone who has animals, I realize I love one cat more than the other cat. What can I say? That's the way it goes. So you could have been in an orphanage and had it much worse. Always be grateful. An attitude of gratitude is really important in life. I could have always wished I was taller. I could have been handsomer. I could have been faster. I could have been this. I could have been richer. Everybody could wish that they were something they're not, or they have something they don't have. I told my parents didn't have money. I didn't have a boat. I didn't have a house. I'd be happy with what you got. I think you're a little bit obsessed with your sister being treated better than you. And you know what? Maybe they love her more. Maybe they don't. But it's possible that she looks like them and there's more of a connection because of that.
Am I the asshole for intentionally scaring my neighbor's kids? My bedroom window faces the front yard. I keep the blinds half open for my cats. You can't really see clearly into the room from the street or yard, so I'll sometimes walk through in my underwear on the way to the bathroom. Recently, my neighbor's twin boys, both around 7, started pressing their faces and hands completely against my window and looking in. I've caught them multiple times and asked them to stop. They just run away laughing like it's a game. I spoke to their parents multiple times. Their response was, "Kids will be kids," and "just keep your blinds closed if you don't want people looking in." This went on almost daily for months. Then last week, I walked into my bedroom, heard them outside, and spotted the demon mask my boyfriend wore to a Halloween party the night before. I stood next to the window wearing the mask for almost 20 minutes. When I heard them coming, I waited until both kids had their noses pressed against the glass. Then I jumped out, mask at eye level, and let out the loudest roar I could manage. I have never heard them scream like that in all the years we've lived next to each other. Their mom was at my door minutes later, calling me a monster. I told her I do what I want in my own house. If her kids don't want to see it, they should stay off my lawn. It's been a week. They haven't stepped foot on my front yard since. Am I the asshole?
The kids are the assholes. You're going to the window of a person to look at her in her underwear. And I understand she could close her blinds and maybe put something to block you, but she came up with an ingenious way to get you away from the window. It might have been a little too much because of the reaction of the children, but they should not be looking through the window of an adult who is walking around naked. Now, if the adult walks around naked and you could see it from the street, that's her fault. But if you're going to a window to peep in there, it's your fault. So kids are to blame. I also suggest the neighbor who has the window open to get something to block the window. And I wouldn't want to be walking around my apartment in my underwear and being observed by young people. I don't think it's a very good look. I wouldn't want it. And I think the kids are at fault here. Like I've always said about parents, the kid could take a shit on the floor and one parent will say, "Wow, a Picasso." That's how parents look at their own children. They're blind. They can't see them. Their kids are like the greatest thing in the world. And you know what? They're not. No one else sees them like that, just you and your rose-colored glasses because you produced them. You think you produced the greatest thing in the world, the smartest. I love it when I see those stupid things. My kid was honor student in elementary school XYZ. Who gives a fuck? What about when he gets to be 18 years old? Is he going to be a drug addict with piercings and all kinds of fucked up things? Do you know anything about your child? So he's smart right now. I can't stand it. You want to gloat about your kids? Gloat about them to someone else. Don't show me pictures of your grandchildren either. I don't think they're that good looking. I don't care about them. Oh, my beautiful grandchild. Your grandchild's ugly. I don't want to see the picture. I don't care. No one cares. The only one who cares is you.